Gaming Geek Me here. I am Jerry the Geek. My final video today, we're going to do a review of the Terminator on 4K. But before we get into that, if you like physical media, 4Ks, Blu-rays, DVDs, if you like home theater, movies in general, check out my other videos on my channel because I do these reviews, I do unboxings, collection updates, different discussions. Check that stuff out. Hit the like button, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and always comment below. Let me know what you think of anything at any time. So let's talk about the Terminator on 4K. This is the classic, iconic movie from James Cameron. Came out in 1984. So it made it yet this year to celebrate its 40th anniversary. And everybody's been chomping at the bit for it. Got, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, Michael Biehn. Also, you got Lance Henriksen. He's in it. This definitely ranks up there with one of all-time best sci-fi movies. Even though, some people argue that the second one is better. Everyone, about the second one being a masterpiece. And I agree. T2 Judgment Day is a masterpiece. But there's just something about this original. Number 2 was more action-oriented. This one, it has action, but it's got a good mixture of storytelling and, the build-up of the characters and a little bit more sci-fi. So, I'm always going to pick this one over T2. No matter how great T2 is, I'm going to give the nod to the original. There's just nothing like this. And something I'd throw out there, if you've ever seen any of the older interviews, this was years ago. Interviews with Arnold and James Cameron, they talk about when they first developed this movie, they had the script, and Arnold was actually supposed to be Reese. But after he read the script, he fell in love with the character of the Terminator because the Terminator was supposed to be menacing, and Arnold being the big guy he is, he wanted to be that menacing character, and it worked out. So I'm glad he became the menacing character in this thing. I think that's one of the reasons why number 2 worked so well when they brought in Robert Patrick. You're used to seeing, Arnold as this big, badass Terminator, and you got this new age skinny Terminator coming in and kicking his ass. I think that's one of the things that worked out so well with T2. So yeah, I thought that was a nice little information. I always think it's pretty cool, thinking about that Arnold was supposed to play Reese, and then it's like, no, I don't want to play the bad guy. I want to kill people, So anyway, the 4K here comes from Warner Brothers. I just got this last week. It actually release date's scheduled for November 19th. The movie was filmed in 35mm, finished with HDR10 and Dolby Vision. And from the get-go, I was freaking blown away with this. I know we all had our doubts about how this was going to look because of Cameron's track record with 4Ks. We've all heard and seen what happened with T2, and that's why when Aliens, The Abyss, and True Lies, when those came out this year, they were put under a microscope, and people were freaking picking them apart, pixel by pixel. And I'm not one of those reviewers. I'm your casual reviewers. I'm not one of them that's going to throw all this technical jargon at you that's going to go over your head, trying to sound like I'm talking about all these little things. And I'm not going to stand up in front of the TV and, oh, these pixels look better here than over here. I'm not that way. I'm gearing, I gear my reviews toward the average viewer, sitting back on the couch. How do I react to it? How does it look to me? So I was completely blown away by this. And before last week, I was skeptic like everyone else, but I did see a couple other reviews out there. People were saying it was really good. So I got my hopes up, and then when I put it in, and right away I was like, bam, it fucking blew me away. Yeah, the opening scene where it was in the future, it looked so clean and polished. Maybe some people might think it was too polished. I don't care. It still had that depth. Even even the up close visuals in those scenes, had that depth and had the details. It didn't look have that waxy fake look. So yeah, I was blown away from the beginning. Then it when it come back into present time, yeah, when as the Terminator is arriving and you got that dump truck there, all the grease and grime on the outside of the truck just popped off the screen. The details looked incredible. And then inside, I mean, the colors of the truck and the truck driver was like, it never looked that damn good. Close-up shots, again, you see the facial stubble, sweat, just leapt off the screen. It was just so damn impressive. Even the nighttime scenes, everything was well lit. It didn't get too dark. You make out everything that was going on. There was no question what am I seeing? I know people, I probably rubbed people the wrong way when I did my Twister review because there was a couple scenes in that I absolutely hated because it was so freaking dark I couldn't see. And that was, filmed on 35 millimeter. And from Warner, I didn't get that here. This was perfection. Now, comparing this with the Blu-ray, this doesn't come with a Blu-ray, so I popped in my old Blu-ray I had of this. I'm not sure which. There's multiple Blu-rays out there. I forget which one I have. I should have done screenshots comparisons. I know I used to, and I kind of got away from it. But after seeing how bad the Blu-ray looked, I should have done screenshots. Especially the scene. I mean, right from that opening scene with the future, it looked all gaudy, crappy. And then when Reese comes to present time, that whole scene running through the streets, that looked god-awful, not cleaned up at all. I'm like, I will never watch that Blu-ray again. That is going bye-bye. Hands down, this blows away that DVD. It's, a lot of times, when I compare 4Ks and Blu-rays, a lot of times there's just subtle differences. This is going to rank up. This is going to rank up there with some, at the height of comparing from Blu-ray to 4K. I would put this up there with War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise because that Blu-ray sucked and the 4K just blew it away. This one is right up there with it. That big of a difference. In my opinion, again, I'm your casual viewer. I'm not going to get nitpicky over everything. It looked phenomenal. Now for the audio here, they gave us a Dolby Atmos track and a DTS HD Master Audio 2.0, which a previous version I don't think had that. So a lot of people have been clamoring, the purists out there have been clamoring for that old track. And I'm not one of those. I like purity, but at the same time, what's the use of having all this high-tech equipment if you're not going to make use of it? Because when tracks are done right, if they're mixed right, your surround mixes can be good. Sometimes they're not the greatest. And then you want that old stereo or mono track. But this one is, I don't have Atmos, so I'm just judging by the 5.0. Freaking phenomenal. Great balance here. Channel separation. The use of surrounds are incredible. Again, I don't know if there was any use of the height channels. I had some nice bass at times, especially because some of the shotgun shots, when you fired the shotguns, it had a nice little freaking oomph to it. But comparing that with the older Blu-ray, the audio track on the Blu-ray was phenomenal because it was actually uncompressed, the LPCM 5.1. So in itself, for me, since I don't have Atmos, this was almost identical to the Blu-ray audio. So not having Atmos, I don't know if there was any use of the height speakers at all. I don't know if there was any difference between that or not. But I did a couple times flip over to the 2.0 track, and underwhelming. It was clear. I mean, dialogue, everything was clear, but it was flat. It just didn't have that robust feel that, like I just reviewed Dark Crystal and Labyrinth. The 2.0 tracks on those were phenomenal. They filled the room. And this one was like, ugh. It just thrown on there. No, I would never watch 2.0 on this. I'm not that purist. I want to be forward. And the Atmos track here is phenomenal. So for the packaging, I got the Steelbook here. Some people didn't like this. I liked it. It was different. I know a lot of times we want that original artwork, but at the same time, you want to be different. I mean, if you're going to be double dipping on things, if people are going to be collecting, I don't want 10 copies of the same thing, then they all look identical. I want to have some variance. So I did like the design here. It was pretty cool. I agree with some that they could have darkened it up. Maybe the background was maybe too light. Maybe they could have gave it more of a steel look. That would be my only, if I was being nitpicky, that'd be my only change of it. But other than that, I like the design. And of course, there we have the back. And we'll open it up and you can just see the whole thing here. And it does come with a digital code. I'll give you it here in a minute. And I do like the artwork of the disc. Pretty cool. And I'll pop this out so you can see what's behind. And you got the artwork behind. So I did like this Steelbook. It's pretty cool. So here's the digital code. You pop up here. You can see, hit the pause button or write down, jot down the number or use the QR code and, check this out. I'm not sure why you would want the digital code because, it's the Terminator. Why would you want the digital code when you can freaking buy the thing? But, if you want it, here it is. I don't care. I'm not going to use it. Now for the bonus features. Not a whole lot here. I'm not sure. I think everything is ported over. I don't think there's anything new here. We got Creating the Terminator, visual effects and music. Which, I should have mentioned when I talked about the audio. That music score by Brad Fiedel. Freaking, oh man, it just icing on the cake, man. It sounded incredible. Back to the bonus. We got the Terminator, Closer to the Real Thing, Unstoppable Force, The Legacy of the Terminator, and 7 deleted scenes. Now, looking at info online, supposedly there was one of the featurettes that was on a previous Blu-ray was not, they actually did not put that on, so it's kind of weird they did not port that over. Maybe it's because space constraints, they didn't want to, compress too much and try to put too much stuff on the disc. Warner Brothers is becoming known for not putting Blu-rays with their 4K, so they try squeezing everything onto one disc. It's nice that you can with BD100, but man, I just, yes, that did not hurt the quality of this, but there's always that potential of hurting the quality if you try putting too much stuff on a disc. Because as is, I had issues playing this. My 4K player is a Sony X700. It's one of the cheaper models. And if you don't know, the low-end 4K players out there have issues with the BD100 disc because of triple layer. So mine, it doesn't do it all the time. Every once in a while, they'll freeze in a certain spot. It'll pixelate and lock up. Sometimes I can just reach to start the disc. And there's times that it locks up to where I have to unplug the player and plug it back in and reset it. But this one, it wouldn't even load. It came up with an error and it had a little question mark. And I turned it off, turned it back on, and it came up with this error saying not compatible. And blah, blah, blah. I showed like a picture of the screen. I was like, what the hell? And I restarted it a couple of times and got the same error. So I unplugged it, plugged it back in, and rebooted it. And finally, it did play. So yeah, in a few months, I'm getting a new player because I'm getting my player is getting more and more glitchy. So to wrap it up here, if you're questioning the 4K of the Terminator, you know, if you've seen the history of Cameron's movies in the past and you don't know what this is going to be, pick it up. This will blow your mind. Unless you're the person that's going to be standing in front of the TV looking at it, I don't think you're going to find any fault with this. This is freaking phenomenal. It blows the Blu-ray away in all matter. But if you want the steelbook, it is very hard. It's selling out. I mean, Grub is sold out. Walmart is sold out. Amazon still has it listed right now, but they know it. They put a price of $69.99 on it, and they're not even giving you free shipping. Because it's outside Amazon, and they're going to charge you another $3.99 for shipping. So if you want this steelbook, you're going to freaking pay for it. But if you want the standard version here, it is easily available. It is $24.99 on Grub, Amazon, and Walmart. They're all available on all three sites, and you know, all same price. So yeah, that's going to if you want this, you're going to have to go with the standard unless you want to pay for the steelbook. So that pretty much does it for a look at the 4K of the Terminator from Warner Brothers. Please comment below. Let me know what you think. If you're planning on getting this, have you been skeptical or have you been holding out to see reviews if you want to pick this up or not? I'm hoping this will, review will help, ease your mind that you need to get this because, yeah, this looks phenomenal. I could not find any flaws with this whatsoever. So I highly recommend picking this up, whether you pay out the ass for the 4K or if you want to get the standard, you gotta have this. So check out my other videos on my channel, like, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and we'll see you soon. Geek out.